Ford writes down $19.5 billion as it pivots electric lighting line of vehicles.
Let's hear straight from the horse's mouth. CEO of Ford explaining why they are cancelling their flagship electric vehicle, the F-150 Lightning. You know, the F-150, often the best-selling vehicle in the United States year after year after year for the better part of a century. The no-brainer of no-brainers, make an incredible electric F-150, milk your existing loyal customers. It's F-150, but electric, clean up, beat Cybertruck to market, doesn't look like a triangle on wheels. Surely you'll crush it, right? Just press the magic catch up to Tesla button. You'll sell millions of these things, make billions of dollars, and crush Tesla. It turns out when all the experts said the competition was coming, they were right. The competition did come embarrassingly fast, and apologize and say, I'm sorry, that doesn't usually happen. So let's see what Jim Farley had to say and how they justify this epic public failure. And believe me, Ford did try their best. This wasn't we'll sort of see. It was a huge opportunity. They went at it aggressively, and it turns out trying to compete with Tesla is harder than the so-called experts made it out to be. This is what it looks like when the competition comes in 2 seconds.
So look, the last couple of months have been really clear to us. The EV market shrank to about 5% of the US market, but more importantly, the very high-end EVs, the $50,000, $70,000, $80,000 vehicles, they just weren't selling. And we had planned a full EV lineup, but we also have hybrids, and we learned a lot about the market. And we think it was the right time to listen to the customers. We evaluated the market, and we made the call. We're following customers to where the market is, not where people thought it was going to be, but where it is today, Phil. And that's really the genesis of our announcement. Be better for the company's profitability, better for shareholders, and a lot of new American jobs.
I'm going to do my best to be fair and reasonable to Ford here. The fair and reasonable thing to say and ask would be, what the fuck else are they going to do? This was only ever going to end one way. I've been saying for years, since 2019, the start of this channel, expecting legacy automotive companies to miraculously become world-class at manufacturing electric vehicles. Not just world-class, but to match Tesla on price, performance. And I'm not just talking about the price they sell these to consumers. I mean actual manufacturing costs for a comparable vehicle. It's like expecting a world-class chef to suddenly pivot and become a world-class ballerina. It's possible, but Jesus, fuck, I would not be betting on it. Not just that, but these companies arrive a decade or more late to the party. Jim Farley here is talking about EVs in the $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 range, roughly where Tesla prices were before the Model 3. By the way, that was 2016, if anyone's keeping track. Nearly a decade ago. So Ford have discovered something that I could have told you and did tell you and many others as well, that if you're selling electric vehicles in 2025 around the same price points that consumers could buy them a decade earlier, meanwhile Tesla has moved well and truly beyond that price performance point, you're probably going to have a hard time remaining solvent. You're probably going to burn billions of dollars, and you're probably eventually going to end up going bankrupt, or in Ford's case, just saying, well, fuck it, we give up. Now, again, in fairness to Ford, this was always going to end the same way. At least they've recognized it. Here's a real smart thing, which I said they should have done years ago. Hey, Elon, bro, we're going to go bankrupt because we can't make electric vehicles profitably. We've got an idea, however. How about, check this out, ready? You can make some vehicles for Ford, the whole thing, electric motors, the batteries, everything. We'll slap a Ford badge on the vehicle, mark it up 5, 7, 8, 10%, make a tiny little profit, and in essence, the vehicles will say Tesla inside. That way, we can milk our existing customer base, our loyal customers, I'm a Ford person, make meager profits, which we're doing anyway, and possibly remain solvent. We'd also like to license FSD ASA fucking P. So in short, you can make the vehicles, we'll slap a Ford logo, you can do the software, we'll license that. We'll probably stay in business. We're not going to make a huge amount of money, but at least we won't go bankrupt. That's how we would like to proceed. That would have been the 85 IQ move. Instead, Ford either arrogantly or moronically either thought or pretended they thought they had a chance of surviving, thriving in the EV world, and gave it their best. You have to feel for Dim Farley. Investors wanted action. Tesla's crushing it in electric vehicles. Why didn't you make an electric vehicle? The answer, of course, is because we're not going to be able to do it profitably at scale. Competing with Tesla, we're fucked, so bad idea. But of course, I don't think that's an answer many Ford investors would have liked to hear. So instead, Ford has evaporated the better part of $20 billion they're writing off on EVs and ended up in this situation. So I'm going to tell you what Jim Farley won't, what Mary B. Sparrow won't, what none of the CEOs of legacy automotive companies will tell you, but all know deep down, because surely they're not that fucking dumb to be oblivious to this inevitable fact. They're fucked. They are going bankrupt. They won't survive the decade. So they have two choices. Admit out loud that they're fucked and they won't survive the decade. I'm sure that's going to go down well. Or pretend everything's fine. And while pretending everything's fine, fool your not super sharp investors into believing that your best strategy moving forward is to quote unquote follow the market or listen to customers, aka try to trick your loyal consumers into buying hybrids, aka just an ICE vehicle that you've stuck a tiny vibrator sized battery inside to trick them into thinking it's good for the environment. Milk some short-term profits because you know how to make ICE vehicles and make a small profit on those. You may as well keep selling them while you can for a tiny profit, which is what they're going to do. Manipulate your consumers into buying quote-unquote hybrids, which, as I've said a million times, are just trans EVs. Okay, we know what's under the hood, bro. You're not fooling anybody. It's an ICE vehicle, period. And at some point, when the price performance of a truly compelling electric vehicle is dramatically lower than a comparable ICE/hybrid vehicle, the only consumers who would even consider buying one of your vehicles, ICE/hybrid, have brain damage, and you have kind of an entire business model that's relying upon brain damaged customers spending significantly more for a vastly inferior product. So your ICE sales collapse and you go bankrupt. I think this is the strategy. I think right now, Ford and many other legacy automotive companies are going to pretend everything's fine, come up with some drivel implying that customers really actually just want hybrids, which is code for we can't profitably produce compelling electric vehicles, so we're going to trick our consumers into buying hybrids for a couple of years, make some profits, and then go bankrupt. Don't tell anybody. Now, again, I mean, what other choice does Jim Farley have here? None. If it was 15 years ago, there would be some options. But today, I mean, bro, it's G fucking G. So you got to feel for the guy. If these legacy auto companies actually were led competently years ago, their leaders would have been knocking on Tesla's door, kicking the door down, bro, please. Make vehicles for us. We'll slap our logo on it, sell them to our consumers. You can make most of the money, but we'd rather stay solvent than go bust. But no, instead, nobody wants EVs, and then suddenly, oh yes, we're all in on EVs, and then it's, oh, hang on, yeah, we're cancelling EVs and we're losing money, and yeah, hybrids are the future.
Yeah, but $19.5 billion, that's a big enchilada out there, and I know they're pre-tax charges, but a lot of people will look at this and say, is that the cost of saying, we tried it, the other strategy wasn't working, and so we've got to pivot?
Well, yeah, we really do. The non-cash is the biggest part of it. The cash charges are about $5.5 billion, and the return on that $5.5 billion looks fantastic. These are affordable trucks and vans. They're in the heart of what Ford knows how to do. They'll be hybrid and E-revs, very profitable vehicles. You know, we know these customers really well. We're not guessing. And we have a great EV platform in the UEV that's affordable at $30,000. We think we have the best portfolio of any auto company in the U.S. And we now get to focus as a team on bringing all those products to market. And it gives our Model E business, effectively our EV business, a road to profitability, which did not exist a month ago.
So you're looking at that division, that Model E division, being profitable by 2029. And I believe by 2030, yes, you were forecasting that half of your global sales will be either hybrids, yes, E-revs, or pure EVs. It's about 17% yes, now. That's a big ramp up over the next 5 years, right? Yeah, most of it is hybrid and E-revs. You know, we
Okay, so admission of defeat here. I just have to check what the fucking E-rev is, by the way. I mean, they're talking hybrids. And they're talking, what's that, like half of their sales by 2030, give or take? A combination of pure electric and or hybrid and or E-rev? Yeah, so I just looked it up, and E-rev actually stands for Extended Range EV, which is actually just a fucking hybrid with a really big battery as opposed to a hybrid with a really small battery. So let's just translate here. Ford expect the vast majority of their sales in 2030, half a fucking decade from now, to be ICE vehicles. Either straight up ICE vehicles, or trans ICE vehicles with a little battery in them, or trans ICE vehicles with a 8 or 9 inch battery in them. They have completely given the fuck up. The question now becomes, when does Ford go bankrupt? Now again, what else are they going to do? There's no point trying to sell EVs on the same planet as Tesla, so I mean, what else are they going to do? Seems the writing is on the wall.
Number 3 in the U.S. market on hybrids, but we're number 1 in truck hybrid. We're like 80% market share, Phil, as you know.
Just every time it says hybrid, just think horse and buggy.
And now we're going to build up Bronco and our whole lineup of hybrids. You know, last month our sales were about flat. Our hybrid sales were up 20% on F-150
The poor guy, I mean, deep down, he must know they're fucked. He must know they're cooked.
now, the best-selling vehicle in the U.S. Hybrid some months is 30% of our sales. Imagine having a Ford where a whole lineup has hybrids.
Bro, if this was a drinking game and he took a shot every time he said hybrid, aka the horse and buggy, everyone would be in a coma already. This is so embarrassing and painful to watch, dude.
And E-Revs, and then we'll have this very affordable EV platform, UEV, at very affordable prices of 30 grand. We think that's the right place to pivot. That's where Americans are today with their powertrains and what they want to buy.
Jim, it's Morgan. We're talking a lot about this from a domestic standpoint, but how does it position you competitively from a global one, especially when you think about Chinese OEMs?
Yeah, great question. Thank you for that question. Look, I think every region of the world is different. China is like more than 50% electric. Europe is about 25%. In the U.S., it's 5%. So what we're doing in Europe is we're teaming up with Renault. They have very affordable EVs. That makes sense. We don't want to invest our own EVs there, and we want to go to very affordable ones. For the rest of the world, we're really a truck and pro brand, with pickup trucks and SUVs. And they're, the hybridization.
All right, so I can hear it already. He's basically admitting Ford is just totally given up on conventional vehicles. They just want to focus on trans trucks and nothing else. Oh man, I feel so bad for Jim. I mean, he doesn't really have much choice here. Stuck between a rock and a hard place, caused by 15 years of mismanagement, poor decisions, and total blindness to the inevitability of EVs.
Is a really good option for us, and we have great electric choices. So each region is a little different, but the U.S. is really different. Here, people travel longer distance. They use their trucks for towing, and these really expensive $70,000 electric trucks. As much as I love the product, they didn't make sense. But an E-Rev that goes 700 miles on a tank of gas for 90% of the time is all electric, goes 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. That E-Rev is a better solution for a Lightning than the current all-electric Lightning.
I find it super amusing that Ford has invented multiple ways of describing gasoline-powered vehicles. You got the ICE vehicle, which they don't even mention. Then you've got the hybrid, which is just an ICE vehicle with a piss tiny battery in it. And now you have the E-Rev, which, according to my Googling, is just a ICE vehicle with a slightly larger battery than a hybrid, which is just an ICE vehicle with a small battery in it. So 3 different terms for what is an internal combustion engine vehicle. And the thing is, next couple of years, Ford will be able to milk some profits, fooling some of their loyal consumers into buying these things. But eventually, the music's going to stop, the party's going to be over. For a decade and a half, we heard from the so-called experts, the analysts, the commentators in the finance media. The big boys are coming, the competition's coming, just wait till Audi, Mercedes, BMW, Porsche released their electric vehicles. Tesla's in big trouble then. A decade and a half later, there's still only one company on the planet mass producing electric vehicles and making money doing so. They called Tesla, by the way, 3 years in a row, best-selling vehicle on Earth. Not just best-selling electric vehicle, best-selling vehicle on Earth. Tesla's profitable. Model Y. You would think, after 15 years, if legacy automotive companies or other EV startups were going to catch up to Tesla, beat Tesla, you would think they would have done it by now. I mean, why else would they still be losing money and dropping like flies trying to compete with Tesla? If it was that easy, you'd just catch up to them, right? Turns out electric vehicles are relatively distinct from internal combustion engine vehicles, despite the fact that on the outside they might look similar. Internally, they are completely different. But today's video wasn't actually about electric vehicles. It was about autonomy. Today, the narrative is no longer the competition's coming. The narrative is obviously, well, no, not everybody wants an electric vehicle. Consumers want hybrids. No. Today, the narrative is, well, everyone's going to magically solve autonomy instantly. And so Tesla isn't going to dominate autonomy. They don't have a general solution. That doesn't matter. And even if it does matter, all the companies out there today that are trying or talking about trying potentially to solve autonomy themselves are going to magically be able to do so and scale as rapidly and widely as Tesla because they have an exactly identical, completely analogous solution to autonomy themselves, despite the fact that they're dependent on LiDAR and radar and pre-mapping in HD and don't have a fuck ton of data. Everyone's all magically going to catch up to Tesla, solve autonomy at the same time. Tesla isn't going to take the lion's share, and you should trust us because we were right about the electric vehicle competition coming for Tesla 15 years ago and 13 years ago and 12 years ago, and oh wait, we were wrong. But this time we're going to be right because we're experts. Want more content? Early access? bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has been part of my daily health protocol for almost half a decade. It's packed full of vitamins and minerals and helps me fill in nutritional gaps while supporting energy, digestion, and immune function. It also has prebiotics and probiotics to promote gut health. I take my health very seriously, and so should you. Try AG1 today by visiting drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment and enjoy a free welcome kit with vitamin D3 plus K2 and AG1 travel packs. That's drinkag1.com/SMR.